Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Mr. Grosso again. We're continuing on with the topic of probability, and today we're going to take a look at compound probability. Now, simple probability was what we were looking at before, and that's the likeliness of an event happening given only one situation. Compound probability is still the likeliness of that event happening, but given two or more situations. Now, let me see if I can fix my little arrow here. There we go. Now we're good. So you're going to have two or more situations. So when you're trying to solve it and set it up, it's still going to be the same thing we were doing before, only the bottom number should be bigger. All right, still looking for that desired event on top, but the total number of outcomes possible is going to be more. For example, if we're talking about, flipping a coin, it's only got two possibilities. It's got heads or it's got tails. But as soon as you talk about flipping a second coin, then the total amount of outcomes possible increase. So you go from only two to four possible outcomes. You could have heads first and then heads second. You could have heads first and then tails second. Or you could have tails first, heads second, or they could both be tails. So when we're trying to figure out these probabilities, now the total outcomes for this situation, it's going to be out of four. So Ms. Coleman and I are going to give you guys some tables to help you guys view all the possibilities so you guys don't have to try and think of these and solve them. We're going to try and help you out by providing the possibilities, and you guys have to answer it from there. So what's the probability that you're going to get heads first? So there's heads heads, there's heads tails, tails heads, tails tails. So heads is a part of three possible options, but there's only two that are going to have heads first. Heads heads and heads tails. So the probability of that happening is 2 out of 4. All right, and then remember, it's just like simple probability. If there's an equal sign and a yellow box next to it, that means you're going to have to simplify this one. So 2/4 simplifies. Oh man, take your time. I know it's a real brain buster. Yeah, it's going to be 1/2. All right, what's the probability of having heads or tails? All right, well, heads and tails is all of the possibilities. So the likeliness of getting heads or tails, it doesn't say first or second, so it could be either. Well, that's going to be every possible option. The likeliness of you getting a heads or a tails, either first or second, it's going to be 4 out of 4 every time. So with this one right here, this is one of those situations where it hits the maximum amount of potential of occurring. The likeliness of it happening is 1. It's 100%. It's always going to happen. The other end is going to be 0. But mostly, a majority of the probability work that we're going to do is going to be in between 0 and 1 when we're writing them as fractions. So what's the probability that both of them are being heads? So if we take a look at that, well, there's tails heads, tails tails, heads tails, heads heads. It's only 1 out of the 4. So that's what you would put right there. All right, now what's the probability of getting a color? Well, if we're tossing coins, coins only have heads and tails. So if you're looking at the options, it doesn't have anything about colors. We only have the colors up here to help coordinate and make these tables a little bit more organized for you guys to see and use. But colors with the coin, there's really nothing. So the likeliness of you tossing a coin and it landing on a color, that's going to be 0 out of the 4 possibilities. This is the other end of the spectrum. This one had a 100% chance of happening. It's going to happen every single time. But this one's never going to happen. Not without some weird coin that one of you people might have. I don't know. I don't trust what you people buy online. So the likeliness of this happening with normal currency quarters and coins, that's going to be 0. All right, so why don't you guys try this one on your own? All right, it's going to be on the next slide. And if you have any problems or questions, email us and let us know. And when you're all good with that, I'll meet you over at the next introduction slide.